You know, it's been almost 1 year now since Hurricane Harvey, and Team Rubicon partners with Carhartt to help and to continue to help those who have been affected. Here now is Jake Wood. I was all ready for very tough questions for Jake. He is an imposing guy. Of course, he's obviously the founder and CEO. He's a former Marine. So I will not ask one single tough question of him because he's sitting across from me and his arm reach is 3 times that of my own. So, how do you do it? No,
great. Thanks for having me on.
All right. You know, we mentioned this briefly during the. What got you into this and crisis response and have this all grew? Because now it's become like this big, you know, cottage industry.
Yeah. Well, you know, my co-founder William and I, back in 2010, we'd both just gotten out of the Marine Corps, spent some time overseas, and it all kind of started with the Haiti earthquake. We saw that happen. We wanted to go and help. Felt like we had, you know, some training from our time in the military that would allow us to, you know, have some impact down there. And, you know, that hypothesis proved true. And over the course of the last 8 years, we've been recruiting men and women out of the military, you know, once they leave and you know, put them into a system that trains them to respond to disasters. And now we do it at scale, you know, 50, 100 times a year in communities all across the country.
But how do you target where to go? In other words, after a hurricane, it's one thing, but now in the case of the California fires, how do you decide?
Yeah, I mean, we actually use a lot of big data and some really incredible software tools that help us identify communities that are the most vulnerable. So we look at things like the Social Vulnerability Index. We try to direct our efforts to parts of communities or individual homeowners who maybe lacked homeowners insurance, who are elderly or have a disability, you know, the people that are typically kind of left behind in the whole recovery process.
And I'll expand this out, I don't mean to hog this, but were any of your guys or you yourself, for example, in Puerto Rico, because we learned after the hurricane there that it was much worse than official reports. I mean, if you have people, proverbial boots on the ground, you could see that.
Yeah.
But how do you see for yourself what's going on?
Yeah, we had about 250 men and women down on the ground in Puerto Rico right after the storm, doing a lot of mobile medical work in some of the rural communities. It was very clear from our reports on the ground that it was much worse than was being reported. You know, we stayed behind in Puerto Rico. We've built nearly 250 roofs, again, in low-income communities, trying to really increase the resiliency down there. The reality is you still have tens of thousands of people in Puerto Rico sleeping under blue tarps.
Incredible.
That's American soil. I mean, it's a pretty shameful effort that we've made down there collectively as a nation to right, you know, those communities following that storm.
Jake, how do you combine the immediate aftermath when people need emergency services, whether it's healthcare, housing, food, with what you just mentioned in terms of long-term commitment? You're building houses. How long do you all stay, and how do you balance that sort of I need help right now versus these communities are going to need help for a long time?
Yeah, and that's really the question that I think needs to get answered better in the kind of the collective disaster response community. Often all of the attention is directed in those immediate weeks after a storm, and there's much less attention paid to the long-term recovery process. Historically, our role has been in that immediate response. It's been in really community stabilization efforts.
Right.
After Harvey, after Maria and Irma, our organization expanded our programs to include long-term recovery. So we've committed to rebuilding 100 homes in Houston. Wow. We just gave back our 10th. We've set aside about $5 million to rebuild roofs in Puerto Rico. We've done 250. But you know, if you look at the magnitude of the need, these are really drops in the bucket. So it really has to be a whole community, whole state, whole nation effort. There's certainly a lot of policy changes that could be made related to that. And then, you know, the other thing that people need to understand is that in many ways, Harvey, because of the magnitude, had all of these resources flood in, federal, state, local, and then citizens from across the country. For a homeowner that lost his or her home in Harvey, it's no less or more tragic than a homeowner that loses their home in rural Iowa to a flood that nobody hears about.
Right.
And they don't get any federal resources, they don't get any state resources, but it's no less of a hurdle for them to overcome financially, emotionally in that long-term process.
Well, so you need to raise a lot of funding, though, to do what you do. And how do you do that? And what type of government or subsidies do you get from the government?
Yeah, you know, we're really exploring that right now. Less than 1/10% of our funding comes from government sources right now.
1/10%?
Wow.
Less than 1/10%.
Where does the rest come from?
It's all private philanthropy. You know, we raise about $30 to $35 million a year to do this work. As we look to scale some of that long-term recovery work, we're going to start exploring some of the financing vehicles and options that the federal government provides through some of the economic opportunity zones and things like that.
So when funds are provided to, let's say, Houston area after a disaster, are you able, could they earmark some of that for you so that your guys trained at doing this sort of stuff can use that to help people, or no?
There would have to be some policy shifts that we'd have to look at and lobby for. Not terribly huge hurdles, but not something that we've done yet.
Interesting.
Yeah.
You obviously decided pretty early on a life of service. Can you tell us how you got into the Marine Corps? What motivated you to sort of start down that path?
Yeah, I ended up in the Marine Corps because I was a terrible college football player.
But you played in the Big Ten.
I played in the Big Ten.
That counts for something.
Yeah,
You weren't too shabby either, by the way.
The service has always been important to me. I had a moment when I was young. My family was living in Austria in 1989. My parents took my sisters and I to a concentration camp that had been turned into a museum. And I remember looking at the photos of that liberation and by Allied troops, and it really had a huge impact on me. I was a freshman in college on 9/11. Like 3 million other Americans, I just felt, called to serve, and ended up 4 years later in the Marine Corps. And the Marine Corps gave me everything they promised me. So.
But it's amazing with all your success. I know people tell you this a lot. I'm not saying this because you could hit me if I asked you a tough question, but money has not been a drive for you. It's not been, hey, fame, fortune, I can do that. It's been quite the opposite.
Well, I'm very fortunate. I can make a living doing what I'm doing here. And early on when we were starting Team Rubicon, it maybe didn't look like you could make a living doing this.
Right.
But, I think I was raised to know that you don't, you can do good by doing well, or do well by doing good, I'm lucky. I feel like the luckiest guy in the world. I get to wake up every day, work alongside amazing human beings who care about other people, and I can pay rent. I'm good.
Yeah, that's good. Remind me, I want to get my teenage sons on the phone with you. Jake Wood, thank you very, very much.
Yeah,
very inspiring. That's a very good message. We need to hear that sort of stuff.